What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Marty 4 here once again. What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Marty 4 here once again, and we're here to review episode, I think this is 5, of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, season, 4? Yeah. Now, the episode literally just went off, y'all, so this is fresh off the dome. Whoo, okay. This was a funny episode. I enjoyed this one. So, the episode started off a little slow. It was really like we picked back up where we left off last week with Margo and Joseline meeting up. And basically, that whole dynamic was Margo was feeling like, well, you know, I kind of came here on the merit of Nico, and I don't really have anybody to talk to. So when Joseline hit me up, you know, and I know her history with Mimi, I decided to, you know, hook up. My thing is, I'm pretty sure that Joseline and Margo have never met. So when they say I was hit up, I'm like, do y'all have each other's numbers somehow? Does the production company give you contact information? Like, how exactly do you get hit up by somebody you've never really met or just know through the blogs? Like, did y'all tweet? Did y'all DM? Like, I'm trying to figure out how the contact between the two of you initially happened, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, and Joseline says she found out through the blogs that Margo had been moving to Atlanta. Like, what blog? Show me the blog post that actually cared enough to know who Margo was before the show came on. We're going to keep moving forward. So they talked about her moving to Atlanta and how Margo tells Joseline that Mimi is the one who's orchestrated this whole tape, because apparently she was supposed to try to keep it to herself from Nico, but who really gives a fuck about what Nico feels and what he wants? She was like, I'm going to spill the motherfucking tea. So they're talking, and of course, you know, Joseline is just eating this up. You know, she is just having a motherfucking field day with all this goddamn information. And so she's going to, you know, take this and run with it later on in this episode. So we move forward to the next scene where we got Tiffany Fox and Mimi are talking about, you know, management. And Tiffany is going like, well, you know, I have other people trying to manage me and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, basically, Mimi's like, well, okay, I understand that. So what if we just do like a trial period where if I try to do and produce something for you, or, you know, make things happen and you see how it goes. If you like me, you stay. If you don't, it's whatever. So, okay, that's their little agreement up until this point. Then we get to this part. This is probably one of my favorite parts. One of my favorite parts of this particular episode. Hold on, I feel like I have to sneeze. No? Okay. So, girl, Mama D and her new boo, well, old boo turned new boo, new jailbait boo, Ernest, girl, they are having a date in a motherfucking, what seemed to be, to me, a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles or a Waffle House. Like, that's just what it looked like. And even she was looking like, the fuck, where the hell am I? This is supposed to be a hot date and he brought me to some place that serves chicken and waffles. Oh, Lord. It's like the royal ratchet couple. It's almost perfect in a way. They almost just make each other, they almost just match each other perfectly. But anyway, so he, Lord bless him, just bless him, Lord, tries to give her a promissory / what did he call it? A commitment ring. And he done put the ring, first of all, he's already at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Then he puts the ring on a cherry in her alcohol drink. And then from what it looked like and from how Mama D tried to describe it, it looked like he got this thing out the motherfucking gumball machine at a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, it just, we couldn't even really see it. We could see that it was gold, but even just then, it looked like bullshit. So Mama D was like, girl, you tried it. And I guess it hurt his feelings, and she could see that it hurt his feelings, and so she's like, okay, I guess, I'll wear it till you give me the real shit. And he was like, well, she was like, what is this even promising? Like, she's like, well, I'm gonna be together for the rest of your life. In my opinion, uh, if you're gonna give me a ring and talk about you're going to promise for the rest of my life, I'm gonna need it to be an engagement ring. Okay, don't give me no promise ring talking about you're gonna promise to be with me for the rest of my life. That ain't that kind of promise. This is not the appropriate ring for this promise that you try to make right here in this place with this app. What? That was terrible, man. Miss Mama D was unenthused, but she was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this, even though I know that Scrappy and isn't gonna be too happy with this and blah blah blah, this, that, and the fourth. So this should be interesting. Next, we move to Carly Red and Joseline in some stationery store. Okay, why did you invite her to a stationery store to talk about invitations when that's something that you could really have done over the phone? Like, she doesn't really need to be there for you to pick out invitations to a party. Like, people do party invitations via group text now. You don't need to be doing all of that, in my opinion. And then, not only are y'all in a stationery store, Joseline was sitting there looking like she up there trying to work the corner. Like, why are you hooking in Hallmark? Like, do you have clientele? Like, I just don't understand why she was wearing booty shorts and high hookah boots in Hallmark. Like, that doesn't... Bless her. Carly Red looked nice, okay? Carly, even though it's still dressy for a stationery store, or it could have been a side of Target for all we know, but Joseline was looking like she just came from working the corner, or she's on her way to it when she buys these invitations. Like, what the fuck? She had the high ponytail. Even though she looked cute, she looked pretty, she looked like she was prepared for the club. But I'm just like, just seeing her inside this store is just like, bitch, this is what you want? This is what you pulled out the closet to go to the store with, bitch? Okay. And so Joseline was just kind of like buttering Carly Red up, trying to tell her about the tea that Margo gave her about Mimi, but she said, I'm going to hold off till get to this party. And, of course, Carly Red is just sitting there just like, I need it. I need it. Y'all remember that SpongeBob episode when he first go visit Sandy, and he's sitting there staring at the glass of water. He's like, I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I need it. That's what Carly Red was like when she... I know that was horrible, but still, that's what it felt like Carly Red was acting like when she was like, I'm gonna have to hold this tea back until you done. I was like, oh. Poor Carla, just as nosy as she can be. So we get to the next, chapter in the fuckery that is Kirk's whole entire life. They have this joint account, apparently, and this nigga done pulled out $32,000 in a matter of 24 hours. And of course, Rashida is pissed. And he goes on to say, well, she's trying to say, like, you doing all this and you ain't getting me my store and this, that, and the fourth. And he's like, well, I don't feel like you really need to have a store right now. Like, how you gonna tell this girl that and you know how much she's wanting the store, you gonna tell her you don't need a store right now, but yet you feel it necessary for you to have this apartment, this Buckhead office right now, and this other whatever project house that you building for your family. You felt like these are something that you need right now, but she can't have a store and you taking money that she earned from her business? Oh no, I think not. And then Rashida, I'm still upset with your ass because then you're gonna be like, well, he doing all this and he may not even have a wife. I'm like, now this is what you decide is gonna be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Not that he completely disrespected you in your marriage at national TV having 2 bitches in his hot tub, but he done brought a 3rd bitch in his Buckhead office, laying on his king bed, and you just now this here is gonna be the straw that breaks it. Rashida, girl, I just don't. I just have to pray for her. I just have to say, fix it, Jesus, and let it go. Let it go. Okay? Because just bless it. I'm just like, I don't know what more Kirk can do that would make you divorce him. And apparently they're still together because they're on the after show still. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Moving on, where are we at? Jessica, Dime Piece, and Mimi meet up, and they just talk about, you know, the possibility of management. Mimi gives the same line, like, I'll try to do something for you. If it works out, great. If not, we can, you know, do whatever. And she puts out that line, like, you can't be, you know, I heard you're going to be working with Tiffany Fox, and you ain't going to be having time to be dealing with both of us, and all this bullshit. I'm just like, oh, okay. Mimi's trying to get people together. Her thing is she wants, okay, if I'm going to be working with these two people, I have to get them both together. I have to, you know, make sure I can get them in the same space since we're both going to be working together. Oh, okay, bitch. Let me know how that works. You got two big mouth, big booty ghetto bitches together in one room. You think they ain't going to fight? Oh, okay. So Mama D gets, you know, they out walking dogs and shit. Cute little dogs. But Mama D goes and tells Scrappy about, you know, her and Ernest reuniting. Like this. Or more like this. Ew. Bad mental image. But she was so excited. She's like, I got some dick now. I got some dick now. I'm like, well, you know what, Mama D? You've shown significant signs of less, you know, meddling in other people's lives. So maybe this is actually something good for your ass. But Scrappy tells us that he has a sister that I didn't know about. Did y'all know about the Scrappy had a sister? So, who has a sister who hates Ernest, probably for, you know, legit reasons. Because he said he didn't like the way that, you know, he was treating her mom. And, of course, we understand that. And Mama D has this idea that she wants to throw a dinner, bringing together Scrappy and her, of course, Ernest, his sister Jasmine, and Ernest's mother, who hates Mama D because she sent her son to jail. So, duh. And she wants them to all sit at a table and somehow be cordial. Now, I'm not a parent, but I can't help... What the fuck? Anyway, I can't help but think that if my child were to be dating someone and that person were to be responsible for sending my child to jail. Now, mind you, from what I understand, the Ernest was in possession of drugs, and so he shouldn't have had the drugs anyway. So it's not completely Mama D's fault. Like, I mean, she gave him the hint, but if he ain't had the drugs in the first place, he wouldn't have been in trouble. But still, I would feel a way if you're responsible for sending my child to jail. But if you want them to all be at a table, like, do you really think this is a good idea, Mama D? Do you not remember when you tried to have you, Scrappy, Erica, and y'all together at that dinner and how that went completely left with her and her mama? Come on now. You ain't fooling me, bitch. Where we at in this fuckery, child? Stevie J and Faith Evans had like a little musical moment. It was nice to see Faith. Faith looks good. She gave us a nice little sickening run, which I appreciated. It got a nice little promo for her album, Incomparable. Make sure y'all go pick that up on iTunes. Where are we at? Because I want to get to the good shit. Okay. So we get to see Jasmine. Jasmine's there with her man, Rico. And Scrappy is there with Bambi. Now, we haven't seen Bambi since, I think, the first episode, which we're not really complaining because Bambi doesn't really offer too much to the show as it is. So that's whatever. But I want to say this, and I don't want it to be mean. I swear it's no shit. But as Jasmine is talking, as we just watching her, she's a very pretty girl, except for that one thing. I'm like, is it me? I could be blind. But it appeared to me that Jasmine seemed to be missing a tooth somewhere up here. Or maybe a couple, because the gaps looked really significant. Like, she was talking, and all I could just see was just... I'm like, you are definitely Mama D's daughter, because I think her tooth fell out in the same spot. But And shit, it looked like Rico was missing some teeth, or he just had a big gap, one or the other. But that's neither here nor there. Jasmine's whole thing about it is she feels like, why would somebody who just sent me to jail, why would, if you're a man and this woman set you up to go to jail, where as soon as you come out, why would the first thing you do is to get back with that person? She thinks he's an opportunist to get, you know, with Mama D's and money, talking about, oh, now that she got this money, she got this single out. I'm like, Mama D, that man is not getting back with that woman for the money that she's making from that single. She's getting that, he wants to get back with her for the money that she's making on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta so he can get some camera time. That's what he wants. Shit, ain't no damn. I deserve ain't nothing to. Anywho. And so he tries to tell her about this whole dinner idea, and she's just not too much with it. But we gonna see how this shit gonna go. Cause y'all, I mean, we already know how it's gonna go. We've seen it happen before. But we just gonna see how this one's gonna go in particular, how it's gonna be different than the last one. So we get to Joseline's party and this, that, and the fourth, and we're introduced to a new bitch named Prima Donna. And I'm like, okay, we have a new face we have to get used to. Let's see what this bitch comes with. So they all come, they all sitting around chit-chatting. You know, we tell her about Prima Donna's a businesswoman. She sells, I guess, like corsets or something to that nature. Yeah, she seemed cool. And so Joseline says, well, Carly, I have a surprise for you. And she's just like, what the fuck you talking about? And here she comes with Margo. And of course, she's all excited. She's like, finally, I get to be messy again. And so Margo comes in and pretty much just tells and shares the same tea that she shared with Joseline, saying that Mimi orchestrated the whole thing, and you know, that whole story about them leaving the thing on the bus is bullshit, this, that, and the fourth, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's just like, oh my God, that's not real. Okay, I'm like, first of all last season while this shit was going on, we all knew that whole story of them leaving the shit on the thing and it just so happened to landing in the hands of a porn company was some bullshit. We all knew that, and don't y'all even sit on this show pretend like y'all really thought for a second that shit was true. Don't insult my intelligence. Come on. But they just trying to make it seem like it's this whole big news, like they just so shocked and they're like, oh, Mimi's such a bitch, Mimi's such a hoe. And I'm like, well, yeah, it is what it is. I was just so mad that they were sitting there like this was new. Like we didn't know this and see this a year ago. But it is what it is. It's this last part of this episode that was just the best part of the episode because it literally changed moods like that. It was so funny. So Mimi sets up an hour-long meeting with her, Jessica Dime-Piece, and Jazzy Faye. Most of you, at least for me, I only know Jazzy Faye through his productions that he had with Sierra's first album, Goodies, Oh, 1 2 Step, things of that nature. So that's the only thing I know. This is the first time I've actually ever seen his face. So it's good to see what he looked like. And so they have this initial meeting. And of course, everything's going good. You know, apparently Jazzy Faye and Jessica Dime-Piece are both from Memphis, and they got that in common. So they getting a little banter back and forth. He's like, oh, I like this girl. I like her confidence. And, you know, he's like, well, who would you compare yourself to artistically? She's like, nobody. And she's like, okay, I like that. You know, he's just confident. And the whole vibe is going good. And in steps in Miss Tiffany Fox. And already, I guess just because it's her session, Jessica Dime-Piece feels a way that this bitch is even here. Like, they don't even know each other. Like, but she's she's pretty much cussing them out already, saying, what you fuck you doing in my session, this, that, and the fourth. And Tiffany Fox, well, bitch, Mimi is the one that asked me to be at this motherfucking session. So if you have a problem, you need to ask her. And they just going off and calling us the bitches and this, that, and the fourth. And while they're doing this, Mimi sitting like, I cannot believe that this is happening. I feel so embarrassed. I just tried to get everybody in with this 1 hour session that I had with Jazzy Faye. And now I feel embarrassed. he's probably not going to want to work with these ladies again. I'm like, you're damn right. And Jazzy Faye is like, look, y'all sitting there doing too motherfucking much in my building. I'm going to need y'all to calm that shit down. And so eventually, Tiffany Fox stepped the fuck out the building. And at that point, Jazzy Faye was over it. Okay, he was, and then what made it worse, he was trying to, you know, tell Jessica Diapy, he's like, look, I ain't even too much interested in anything with the fuck you talking about now at this point from the way that you just behaved. And she was trying to be like, well, you know, I'm just trying to explain, I'm just trying to let you know that this, and I'm like, bitch, he already doesn't fuck with you. You've already showed your ass. Don't sit here and give him additional attitude after he's already pissed off at you. That's just going to make it even worse. And that's what Mimi was saying, like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, don't dig a hole even deeper. You know what I'm saying? But either way it goes. So now Mimi's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. He's probably not going to work with, he's not going to want to work with any of these ladies. He's probably not going to work with my ass anymore. I probably just ruined this connection, burned this bridge. You're probably right. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure you like, comment, and share, and subscribe if you haven't already. This is the first time you've seen me. I hope we can get to know each other more. Yeah, make sure you guys look in the description for all my information. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you... I don't know why I'm getting so tongue-tied. I will see you guys in the next video, which will be my RuPaul's Drag Race in the morning after Untucked. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.